original table was a direct query, right? So for those of you working with bigger data models, you're like, how do I make this perform better? Aggregate tables are great. Now, the way my model is designed right now would require me as an end user to know to use one table versus the other, right? If I'm like, hey, I'm in here and I'm trying to build a report.
जी नमस्कार सबको नमस्कार। और आप देख सकते हो आज रीजनिंग में अल्फाबेट टेस्ट का 4th क्लास है और पूरी तरीके से इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन पर हम लोग शुरू से लेकर अंत तक बने रहने का काम जरूर से जरूर करेंगे। एचआर एकेडमी धनबाद का ऐसा संस्थान जहाँ विद्यार्थी कई कोर्स हेतु कई राज्यों से ऑनलाइन ऑफलाइन एडमिशन ले रहे हैं, सफलता प्राप्त कर रहे हैं। तो आप भी देर ना करें, पूरी तरीके से सफलता प्राप्त करने के लिए, गारंटेड जॉब पाने के लिए आप हमारे क्लास में ज्वाइन करने का काम जरूर से जरूर कर सकते हैं। मैं आपका दोस्त, आपका शुभचिंतक एचआर विश्वकर्मा, बेस्ट ऑफलाइन ऑनलाइन सेंटर एचआर एकेडमी में बेस्ट टीचर टीम की मदद से आप लोगों को ऑनलाइन ऑफलाइन क्लास दिया जाता है। तो पूरी तरीके से करते रहें और फर्स्ट क्लास करने वाले जितने भी हमारे दोस्त हैं सब लोग जरूर से जरूर सब्सक्राइब करें, बेल बटन दबाएं ताकि हर तरह का नोटिफिकेशन आप लोगों को मिलता रहे, ठीक है। और बाकी लोग लाइक शेयर कमेंट स्टेटस में लगाने का काम हमारे क्लास को जरूर से जरूर आप करेंगे। तो आइए आपके सामने कुछ क्वेश्चन आने वाले हैं, उम्मीद करते हैं उस क्वेश्चन को आप लोग फटाफट खबरों की तरह सॉल्व करने का काम करेंगे। चलो टाइम स्टार्ट जी, और ज्यादा समय नहीं देने वाले।
The problem with this, let's think about this, is that now you have to go to each of your end users and they have to decide themselves when they build a visual which one to use. And maybe today I build this report and it is only filtered by product. But then somebody comes in later and they say, well, I'm going to go grab like geography. And so I add a slicer in here on country.
देखो टाइम ओवर, क्या वजह नहीं बना किसी से?
And I click USA and
और कोई?
unfortunately country. So let's do something other than
बहुत बड़ी बुरी खबर है।
Alaska, it doesn't change. I click Alabama.
आपके बाईं ओर से 10वें तो लिख दिए, से 10वें तो 9वें अक्षर कौन सा होगा? तो सेम है ना जी, तो सेम रहेगा तो क्या होगा? प्लस या माइनस? माइनस ना होगा जी, सेम तो माइनस। आप बाएं से चले या यहाँ खड़ा हो गया फिर बोल रहा बाएं जाने तो घटेगा ना जी। तो 10 में हो गया तो 1, और 1 किसका होता है? ए, तो आपको इनसे सबका गलत हो गया। हाँ, तो इससे पता चलता है कि आप कितना रिवीजन कर रहे हो, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पर आप देखो क्या दिया, बाईं ओर से 10वें अक्षर के, ठीक है, से बाईं और 9वें अक्षर कौन सा होगा? तो यहाँ पर ए आंसर है ना, सी नहीं होगा, ए का ए होगा, ठीक है। चलो ठीक है, उसका सॉल्यूशन में नहीं जाना, सॉल्यूशन जो हम बताए उस पर फोकस करना। चलो टाइम स्टार्ट।
Sometimes it performs really awesome and sometimes it doesn't, because the engine in the background can figure out and can determine if it should use the aggregate table or if it should use the other table. Power BI can do that. It is phenomenal. This is a really awesome feature. So the way you set that up, and it's not going to work for me because we're not actually doing direct query or anything like that, is you come over to the left, you go to your report view, and you find the table that you want to be managed by Power BI automatically. So Power BI will automatically decide, should I use that table or should I not, right? And what you do is you'll right click on that aggregate table. There are some requirements to this that are a little bit frustrating. You got to make sure that whatever columns are in your
अपने बाएं से 7वें और दाएं 11, तो 11 7 18, तो 18 होता सनी लियोन बोले तो 8।
Also, I've never really done aggregates when you import
अगर ना जी, चलो टाइम स्टार्ट।
It kind of doesn't make sense. I could see where you get a very small possible performance improvement there, but generally when you're going to be doing this is when your original sources are going to be direct query, and you can see tremendous performance gains by doing this. So all of my data is imported into Power BI, so this isn't going to actually.
चले बाएं से 20वें के दाएं 5वें तो 25 25 बोले तो y। चल ठीक है, चल टाइम स्टार्ट।
And so what I'll do is say, all right, fact aggregate scales tells us the right one.
बनाओ जी, अपना सॉल्व करो, रिवीजन करो। दीपक माथुर,
in the original query, and I've already defined the relationship in my model. So since the relationship is defined, I don't have to do anything with those. Just keep that in mind. Then you have to go down to total cost, total
चलो
sales, and
टाइम ओवर।
transactions and really do
बाएं से
the work.
17वें और दाएं 22वें अक्षर के ठीक बीच का अक्षर कौन सा होगा? तो बीच का अक्षर के लिए क्या करेंगे? दोनों को जोड़कर दो से डिवाइड दे देंगे ना जी। तो अब यहाँ पर दाएं 22वां बोला है, तो इसका बाएं से कितना हो जाएगा? 5 हो जाएगा। तो 17 5 22, 22 में 2 गया बोले तो 11, और 11 किसका हो जाएगा? के का हो गया, के आंसर। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट टाइम स्टार्ट।
I actually could not find this in the documentation, and I just saw it pop up there. Son of a gun, I can't freeze it. Fact cells must be a direct query table to be used in the detail for an aggregate. In other words, it doesn't support the way I'm currently using it. But if you had
चलिए टाइम ओवर। बाएं से 10वें और दाएं से 25वें, तो इसको सीधा करेंगे तो कितना हो जाएगा? 2। तो अब 18 + 2 हो गया, लेकिन सॉरी 10 है ना? हाँ 10 है। अब कितने अक्षर? तो कितने अक्षर के लिए क्या करें? डिफरेंस -1, तो डिफरेंस 8, 1 घटा दी तो 7, किसका 10 आ गया? हाँ ठीक है, तो 7 होगा। ठीक है, चलो टाइम स्टार्ट।
So that's really one of the coolest features there. Oh, window shift S to freeze. I am not going to test that out in the middle of a live presentation because I might be getting trolled, but I will test that out later. I'm writing it down right now. That would be hilarious if I hit that and just shut everything down. Let's look at some questions real quick. I'm going to zoom out. I know I saw a lot.
डिफरेंस दोनों को डिफरेंस कर दो। 10 और 2 का डिफरेंस 8, 1 घटा दिए, तो इसका ट्रिक भी तो था डिफरेंस -1।
As the model grows and it grows in complexity, and we
चलो टाइम स्टार्ट।
there will be times where we need to add in some snowflakes like we did here, where we actually did have a snowflake in here a little bit with this category segment, but we built that in so we could drill across our fact budget and our fact cells.
चलो टाइम ओवर।
Now the benefit of that
को विपरीत क्रम से लिखा जाए, मतलब इसको अगर लेफ्ट से नहीं राइट से लिखते हैं तो बाईं ओर से 10वां अक्षर के दाईं ओर 8वां अक्षर कौन सा होगा? आप कितना आंसर बोले जी? आई, सबका आई। चलो काफी नहीं यार, तो 18 हो जाएगा। और जब 18 हुआ तो बताओ ये अल्फाबेट लेफ्ट से लिखा कि राइट से? और क्वेश्चन किधर से है, तो सीधा है कि उल्टा? तो उल्टा जवाब देंगे ना जी। तो 18 किसका होता है? आर का, और आर का उल्टा क्या होगा? आई। क्लियर, सबका आ गया? चलो चलो नेक्स्ट टाइम स्टार्ट जी।
Let me do a real quick sum on that. That's interesting. So we're going to create a measure on that real quick to make sure we're doing that. And then let me go verify the relationship again. So we're going from dim cat segment.
चलो टाइम ओवर। अंग्रेजी वर्णमाला में वर्णों को विपरीत क्रम में लगाया जाए तो दाएं से 15वां के दाईं और है ना, क्या बोल रहा? दाएं से 15वां अक्षर के दाईं और 8वां वर्ण कौन सा होगा? तो अगर उल्टा क्रम में लिखा हुआ है, क्वेश्चन दाहिने से हो तो सीधा हो गया, सीधा हो गया। तो 10 और 5 कितना होता है? 10 और 15 कितना होता है? तो 15वां अक्षर है, तो लिख दिए कि दाईं और 8वां। तो बता 15 8 का डिफरेंस 7। तो
we
7
can bring
किसका हो
that in
जाएगा?
as a slicer. So this is how you handle multiple fact tables in your model. It's actually
जी
really
का
easy.
जी ना होगा जी.
This goes back to that
तो आप लोग
question
काका
that you were
बोल रहे
asking earlier. Why would I build a star schema and not just leave it
चलो
in a
टाइम
flat
स्टार्ट.
table? If you left it in a flat table, drilling across multiple fact tables like this would be very, very difficult. It doesn't give you that flexibility, versatility, adaptability for the future like we talked about before, aside from all the other benefits. But because we built the model the way we did, and I had not tested this
चलो
before the class today, I just knew it would kind of work in this way.
टाइम ओवर.
We're able to now add additional
कैसे
facts in
टाइम
the future to continue to build this out. So if I come in here and I add in the year,
स्टॉप वॉच
right
स्टार्ट
here,
करके
we
रखो
add
तब
that
पता
as a
चलेगा.
slicer.
20 सेकंड बोल के हम 1
Here's
मिनट
the
दे
slicer
देते.
that's hiding from me. We'll just click on it here. You can see that it's
लेकिन
filtering
आप लोग का
it
स्पीड बढ़ेगा थोड़ी,
based on the year as well.
क्योंकि घर में तो
We're able
प्रैक्टिस
to
करते
see
नहीं तो
my
स्पीड
total
बढ़ेगा
sales
ही
in my
नहीं.
budget for 2016,
ठीक है.
my total sales in my budget for
प्लस
2017.
मैम से मिल लोगे
This
कि
is
बोलोगे सर जो
really,
रीजनिंग
really awesome capability.
पढ़ा रहे हैं उसका नोट्स
Multiple
चाहिए.
fact tables, dimensions that conform across
अंग्रेजी वर्णमाला में
different business areas.
बाएं से 13वें
This is
अक्षर
really,
के
really awesome.
दाएं का
So we
7वां
are
अक्षर
actually near the end of our day here. I'm
13
going to
से
start looking
7
through and
20.
answering
अब 20
questions
बोले तो
here
T20
for
में
really about the
हाँ
next 5 or so minutes.
कुछ भी बोल के निकल जा रहे क्या?
We will
ऐस तो
we'll
कोई
wrap
कुछ
things
बोल रहा,
up.
कोई कुछ बोल रहा.
Again,
नहीं तो आपका सिर्फ
Devin
नहीं
actually
बोल रहा.
mentioned to me it would be a great
ठीक है,
idea
बाकी
to
लोग
do
आंसर
something
नहीं दे रहे हैं जी.
after this, where
और
we
आंसर
actually
अगर
do
नहीं
some
दे रहे हैं ना
Q&A, where we
तो हम
get the
क्लास
answer
ऑफ
and take
करते हैं.
questions from the
हम
group.
ऑफलाइन क्लास लेंगे.
And I think that would be
ऑनलाइन
awesome.
लेने
So
की
keep
जरूरत
your ears open for
नहीं
maybe
है.
we'll do like a 1 hour or 30-minute event where
ठीक
you
है.
send in questions and we
मतलब इतना सारा
go through
8वां
topic
क्वेश्चन
numbers.
जा रहा है और
Let's
सब
see,
लोग जो ऑनलाइन क्लास वाले
how to
खाली
do a
देख
run
रहे
rate
हैं.
calculation basis month number. If
नहीं
you
हम छोड़ देंगे,
date
बंद कर
bill
देंगे भैया.
selected, it
सीधा
should
सब
be number
सारा क्लास
times
एप्लीकेशन
12
नहीं करते हैं
divided
और
by
ऑफलाइन
4.
बस.
You'll have to email that to me. I don't quite
चलिए
understand that.
टाइम स्टार्ट.
You can publish your data model to Power BI online and have others use it as a Power BI data set. Yes, great point. So facts with DAX, I love that point, right? This is actually something I should have had on my list. So I built a really awesome data model. I've named it, I've created my calculated measures, I've built in multiple facts, and I don't want everybody on my team to have to go build their own data model with different variations and different logic.
अंग्रेजी वर्णमाला में दाएं से 11 के दाएं छठा अक्षर कौन सा होगा?
To build
तो
from
11
that
6
Power BI model, so then they connect, doing a live connection, and they
11
just they
6
don't have to worry about building the data model. You can do that, and that is actually a
5 ना होगा जी.
practice. So that is a great job. Thank you for bringing
हाँ
that up.
तो 11 6 का डिफरेंस
Will this session be
5.
available? Yes, it will be.
तो
for
11
you
6
on
था
our
बोले
YouTube
7.
channel for your viewing pleasure. So please feel free to go back and
तो हम कहाँ बोली
Is it
जोड़ने?
possible to extract monthly budget from the yearly budget figure
हाँ तो
easily?
11
I
6
guess
का
we can
डिफरेंस.
absolutely actually do that in our
मैं तो यार समझिए सेम है.
Essentially what you have
जब
to do
सेम है तो क्या
is
है?
when it's on the date,
माइनस है तो 11
looking
6
at the month, take the number of days in the month,
5
divide
किसका होगा
the
जी?
total by that, and you would have to do that in the DAX, which could be kind of complex depending on what you're trying to do.
इवनिंग
Yes, you
ई
can do that with DAX.
ई ना
Can you talk
तो ये
to the
दाएं से बोला
lack of
और अंग्रेजी वर्णमाला तो बाएं से
marking
लिखते
of
हैं
date tables
तो
as
क्या हो
date
जाएगा?
tables?
इवनिंग भी.
So in our situation, we're okay with not
और नो
marking
का
it as a date table.
बी.
Um,
चलो नेक्स्ट.
But if you had turned on in your model the automatic time intelligence, which I actually
चलो एक क्वेश्चन और
recommend,
देंगे,
we'll talk about that.
उसके बाद हम क्लास
I
ऑफ कर
recommend
देंगे और
if you
ऑफलाइन पढ़ाएंगे.
model under options
ठीक
and
है,
settings,
क्योंकि ऑनलाइन वाले लोग ना सिर्फ देख रहे हैं, आंसर दे नहीं रहे. अगर गलत हो सही हो समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है.
One, under data load, I believe it is right here. You can turn it off, and that's for global, all Power BI reports in the future. And under current file, I would turn it off for the current file. So once you turn that off, then it doesn't automatically create date hierarchies in the background for every date column that you have, right? So first of all, I would turn that off. If you did not turn it off and you mark your date table right here as a date table by right-clicking, and you mark that as a date table, that will automatically turn it off for that date table, anything that's in there. So that's number one. If you were doing the relationship from your date table to your fact table to your fact budget to your fact inventory, whatever, on a date key that's an integer kind of smart key. So like today is August 11th of 2022. What you would do is you'd create a key that would be like 2022-0811. It's an integer, it's a smart key. if you were building a relationship on a key instead of the date, time intelligence, those built-in time intelligence functions actually won't work. So you have to mark your date table as a date table for that to work. We're actually okay with what we're doing here because I'm using just the original date. But as a best practice, we should be using those smart date keys because it is going to be optimal for joins and performance and things like that. How do you compute year over year, month to date, and other comparison measures? Those are actually really easy to do. If you go take a look at my 3-hour DAX presentation that I did, I'm pretty sure I cover all of those in there. But also our on-demand learning and the DAX boot camps. I think the one in August is sold out, so I posted it, but it's sold out, the one for August 29th. But we do them about every month. But if you go there, we talk through all of those different time intelligence things in our boot camps. Good question.
जी क्या कर रहे हैं?
Oh, if I wanted Power BI visualization in PowerPoint slide, Microsoft actually just released that. That is awesome. Has nothing to do with this presentation. But Microsoft just released that. I forget. I was testing it out the other day.
पता मिलेगा कहाँ से मिलेगा?
So once you publish, I think
पता ना कहाँ से मिलेगा? अब ठीक मार दिए यार
then you can go up to file in the service.
पता ना कहाँ से मिलेगा?
You can say
मंदिर के
PowerPoint.
बगल में है ना दुकान.
Load it into PowerPoint. The live interactive PowerPoint report.
हाँ
Waiting
यस.
for that for
हम नहीं गए इसको.
चल जा.
Could you give us a glimpse of the scenario?
चल जाओगे मंदिर से साटा सीढ़ी है. चढ़ जाओगे. सीढ़ी से चढ़ोगे दूसरा दुकान.
Mohammed, because that's just a longer calculation. Ultimately, what we would do with that, and I kind of mentioned it a minute ago, is
क्या है? इधर
inside
आ.
of a table. Let's say I had a
इधर आओ
table
जी.
right here. I'll kind of give you the scenario, and this
क्या
will
है?
be the last question, and then we'll wrap things up for the day. But if I had a table here with the
क्या
date,
है? देख ले.
and then I had in that
देख
table
ले कौन सा है?
let's say my back
ठीक है जा.
sales, where's that at?
कोई दिक्कत होगा?
And I bring that
ठीक
over
है.
and drop that right
तो
there.
सुनना है बाबू, कोई दिक्कत होगा तो उसको दे देना, ये कार्ड दे देना, बोला सर से बात कर लीजिए.
Maybe I want to be able to compare my year
ठीक है.
to my year-to-date budget, right?
चलो आंसर बताओ
My
जी.
budget isn't as big. This is a different level of granularity.
यदि अंग्रेजी वर्णमाला को विपरीत क्रम में लिखा जाए तो उसके बाएं से, ठीक है, तो उल्टे क्रम में लिखा और बाएं से 13वां. अब सो जो उल्टा बोला मतलब दाएं से लिखना है और यहाँ क्वेश्चन बाएं से दे रहा है, तो ये सबको ध्यान रखना है. तो बाएं से 13वें अक्षर के दाएं चौथा अक्षर कौन सा होगा? तो 13 4 17. अच्छा तो 17 बोले तो किसका होता है? राजा रानी. क्यू हो गया आंसर. तो क्यू कहाँ है बताओ? तो उल्टा. तो जी हाँ यार ठीक है. 13 जवाब. चलो टाइम स्टार्ट जी. अब देखो, अब सुरेश और रोनित अब आंसर दिया है, बताओ. ऐसे इतना प्रेशर देंगे तब आंसर देंगे.
Which is okay. We covered a ton of material. It was great. Phenomenal interaction from everybody. A lot of people still on the call 2.5 hours later, which is crazy. I'm glad you guys learned a lot. Thank you for all of the great feedback. Peter, make sure to send me an email. I'm going to send you that PDF. It's going to have your name all
चलो,
over it.
उपयुक्त वर्णमाला को विपरीत क्रम में लिख देने पर तो आर लिख दिए. दाईं ओर से 7वें अक्षर के बाईं और 15वां अक्षर कौन सा होगा? तो 15 7 22. तो 22. अब 22 का नहीं पता चलो तो इसको अच्छा राइट बोला, राइट से तो सीधा है ना जी. सीधा तो 22 किसका होगा? भी. तो अगर नहीं समझ आ रहा तो 22 5 5 होता है इज टी ई, तो ई भी मतलब आप जैसे दिमाग में लगा सकते. चलो टाइम स्टार्ट. चल देते चलो जी, फटाफट खबरों की तरह. चलो भाई, और किसी का? तो जिसका आएगा कमेंट करते चलोगे. उपरोक्त वर्णमाला को यदि विपरीत क्रम में लिखा जाए मतलब राइट से, तो कौन सा अक्षर आपके बाएं के 17वां का बाएं 15वां अक्षर होगा? तो 17 15 2 17 15 2 17 15 2. तो 2 का क्या होता है? बी. लेकिन राइट है और क्वेश्चन लेफ्ट से है, तो मतलब इसका भी उल्टा कर दो. बाय बाय. तो बाय आंसर. क्लियर जी है ना? अब तो ये बनाया कैसे है? इतना ऐसे बनाओगे आप लोग क्या? उससे पहले आ गया ना आंसर। ठीक है, चलो मतलब ये लॉन्ग मेथड वाला हम दिखा रहे हैं। ठीक है, चलो टाइम स्टार्ट।
Hey everyone, we are excited to have you join us here shortly. We're going to get started in about 1 minute, just doing a quick audio check here. Look forward to having everyone here with us. We will have a few folks in the chat to answer questions as they come up. But we're going to go ahead and after we do this quick audio check, I'm going to put a timer up
यदि
here so you know when we will get
अंग्रेजी
started.
वर्णमाला में ए और जेड, बी और वाई इसी प्रकार अपना स्थान परस्पर बदलते हैं तो दाएं से 13वां अक्षर कौन सा होगा? तो दाएं से 13वां अक्षर बोले तो बायां कितना? 15। अब 15 क्या होता है? इजटी, इजे ओ। हेलो, हाँ हाँ बोलिए। जी जी जी, हाँ जी जी जी। अरे ये क्या बात होगी, आगे 1 लग जा रहा। अच्छा अच्छा, तो हमको तो यही दिया गया था। अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है, तो नया मीनू हमको भी दिलवा दीजिएगा ताकि स्टूडेंट लोग को भी देना रहता है। हाँ हाँ ना, ठीक है, ठीक है, कीजिए, फिर देखते हैं। ठीक है, हमको नया वाला भेज दीजिएगा ताकि हम पहले से सेटअप कर लें। ठीक है।
Well, welcome everyone to our Learn with the Nerds event titled
तो बताओ जी, यहाँ पर देखोगे ओ है ना जी, तो यहाँ पर क्या बोला कि दाएं से 13वां अक्षर कौन सा होगा? तो दाएं का 13वां कौन होता है? बताओ।
A lot of great information out of today. If you've been working with Power BI
तो
for some time,
अरे 14 ना
also
होगा
have some
जी,
sections geared towards you to kind
14 ना
of
होगा जी,
clean you up into that pro
राइट
part of the
13 तो
title
लेफ्ट
there. So we'll
14।
have quite a bit of different elements of what we discuss with inside Power BI for today's class. My name is Devin Knight. I am the president of training at Pragmatic Works. So we do a lot of these free events, but we also do and have a set of paid training that we do as well that we'd love to share with you about, of course, at some point. But before we do that, let's of course jump into our plan for today. So for today, we obviously have quite a bit to cover in a 3-hour period to make you a hopefully a pro with Power BI in that short amount of time. We have a lot that we're going to cover.
ये 14 होगा क्या?
We're going to really jump right into it. I'm not going to show you a ton of slides. I have maybe 2 slides to kind of get you going and have a brief understanding of how the tool works. But our goal is to really jump rather quickly into developing a solution with Power BI. And guess what? You get to do it with us. I have a couple folks from my team that are monitoring the chat. That's Matt and Julia, and they'll be able to assist with questions. They obviously we're planning to have a very large group today, so they're going to be rapidly helping folks out with questions that you may have. And one thing that I always like to make sure I know when we do things like this, you can rewind me. You don't have to ask, can I see that again? Use the YouTube back, almost like you're pushing back a recording device that you have at home. You can push back my video and watch something that I did as many times as you want.
इसी प्रकार अन अपना स्थान परिवर्तित करते हैं तो दाएं से 13वां अक्षर, तो दाएं से 13वां अक्षर कौन होगा?
We will have a couple breaks, by the way, during this 3-hour period. So, again, our goal for today, though, is we want to get you a pretty good understanding of Power BI. You are going to be able to follow along, but again, if I do,
तो अंग्रेजी वर्णमाला तो हम लोग लेफ्ट से लिखते हैं ना जी,
so what you'll need for today
क्वेश्चन
is you
दाएं
will
से
need
पूछ
the
रहा है
Power
ना जी,
BI desktop.
तो दाएं से पूछ रहा तो दाएं का 13वां कौन होता है? तो हमको अगर नहीं पता चला तो हम तो ये बोल सकते हैं ना कि दाएं का 13 बोले तो एल का 14, इसका मतलब कि एल का 14 कौन लेटर होगा? राइट का 13 कौन लेटर होगा? एन। अरे एन ही ना होगा जी। हाँ, अगर हम बोलते दाएं से बताओ 25वां लेटर कौन होगा?
as
B,
our
अब
data
बाएं से
source
कौन
for
होगा?
today's example.
दूसरा
So
कौन
we're going to
होगा?
be connecting into
तो वही हुआ कि नहीं हुआ?
data.gov.
इसका मतलब n
where we
है,
can find
तो
a
अब
government
क्या
data
बोला?
source that we can
A के
use.
जगह
For some
Z,
of you, if
B
you've
के
seen some
जगह
of our
Y, तो
demonstrations
आपका
before, you
n
may
दिख
be
रहा, तो
actually
n
have
के
seen this
जगह
example before. It might not be new to you,
n,
but we're going to kind of get an idea
अब आया.
of how we can
आंसर
connect
मिला देना
together on
जरूरी नहीं
building
है,
this solution
समझिए बात.
and really get a hopefully a good
मतलब आओ
end-to-end
जानू,
picture of how
बाय
Power BI
बाय
works in
तुम्हें,
today's session. And along
ठीक
the
है?
way, I want to
चलो
try
टाइम
and drop
स्टार्ट.
in nice little nuggets of, I'd say,
हाँ.
more advanced material for those of you that are already been in
अरे
a
भूल
beginner
जा, आओ जानू,
realm and
बाय
you're ready
बाय,
to move on to more
चेन्नई
of that
एक्सप्रेस,
pro
तो बस वही
side
है.
of things. I'm
तो
going to make
n
sure
आया,
I
तो n
highlight
का
a few
मेन
more
होता है ना.
advanced features as
M.
we go throughout the day.
चलो.
So,
Time
briefly,
start.
I do have a few slides here. I'm going to bring those up here now to kind of get us started.
बता दिए लास्ट
So
क्लास.
let me share my
हिंदी
screen
में सब
properly
बता
here.
दिए. नहीं बताए रहते तो
Right,
बात अलग.
so real quickly, what I'd like to do is kind
इसलिए
of
कोई
put in
हिंदी इंग्लिश वाले
context
लोग को कोई दिक्कत
of,
नहीं होना चाहिए.
you know, obviously we're
क्या जी,
focused on Power
सुरेश,
BI here
रोनित?
today, but Power BI is one part of a platform of tools known as the Microsoft Power Platform. So if you're not familiar with the Power Platform, it might be because you've been very focused on one of these tools individually. Whether that be Power Apps or Power Automate, or for many of you, that'd be Power BI. But what I have found is it's really helpful to understand that Power BI is one of these 4 packages of tools, or one of these 4 tools that are part of the package known as the Power Platform. So Power BI, at the very least, you should know, is more of a reporting tool, right? It's a reporting and analytics tool that allows you to build visuals and dashboards and analytics on top of your data. So it's kind of a reactive, take the data that I
प्रथम
have and
अर्धांश
be
के
able to build
अक्षरों
out
को
visuals on
विपरीत
top
क्रम
of
में
it.
लिखा जाए.
But that's not the only
प्रथम
tool that
अर्धांश
exists
बोले
inside
तो
the Power Platform. I'm going to
A
take myself
से
off screen
M
here for a moment
तक
so you can see all of the
first
slides
part
here.
और
But in
N
addition
से
to
Z
Power
तक.
BI as that reporting tool, you also have tools known as
हाँ
Power
ठीक है,
Apps.
दिया ना जी.
And Power Apps is the rapid application development tool that allows you
हाँ
as a
छोड़
business
ना.
user to develop your own applications.
क्या? तो दिया नहीं बना.
You also have Power Automate, which is kind of a workflow automation tool. That workflow automation tool allows you to create automations, or
अरे
they
तू
call them
देगा नहीं क्या बना
flows.
के?
And those flows allow you to
अरे
create these
यार.
basically triggered events that kick off a process based on your trigger initiating.
तो बोलना
And then
चाहिए
the
ना, आप
fourth tool that
दीजिए.
you'll see here is Power
मिल
Virtual
जाएगा.
Agents. And Power Virtual Agents is a chatbot tool, and that chatbot tool allows you as a business user to be able to build out your own chatbot, so that way you can have your end
तो
users
सर बना के
in AI
तो
chatbot
ये
that you have
ऑर्डर
designed.
ले लेना चाहिए था ना.
Now, the major theme that you'll see across all 4 of these tools is that they are designed for business users. And
अब
business
जो
users are
बोले
the
तो वही
main
कर
audience
दीजिए.
of who would actually develop and use
जी.
and leverage the Power Platform tools, whether we're talking about Power BI,
जी, जी,
Power
जी.
Automate, Power Virtual Agents, or Power Apps.
ठीक
They
है
are
तो
all
भेज
tools that
दीजिएगा
are
ताकि
designed
लड़का
for
फिर ले
business
जाता
users
है.
to be
ठीक.
able to solve their own problems. And that's
ठीक.
where you kind of hear this term of citizen developer come out to play, where you as an end user or as a business user can actually use these tools to solve your own problem. And so that's really the power of the Power Platform.
चलो जी.
Now, built on top
तो
of the
देखो
Power Platform,
बोला
it's
जा रहा है
built
कि
on top of
फर्स्ट
the
पार्ट के
architecture of
अक्षरों
Azure,
को
that's
विपरीत
Microsoft
क्रम में
Cloud,
लिखा जाए.
which also
प्रथम
has things
अर्धांश बोले
like
तो फर्स्ट
various
पार्ट.
data connectors that
इसका
are available
मतलब
across all of the
यहाँ से ये
platform, whether it be
चलेंगे
Power BI or
B
Power Apps.
C
There's
D
many different data connectors you have available. So if you're
मतलब
trying to connect into a
M तक.
particular data source, you likely have a data
तब
connector already
बाईं ओर
available
से
for those.
16वां अक्षर
You have
कौन
things
सा
like
होगा?
AI Builder for
कौन होगा
building
बोलो?
out artificial intelligence capability, but again, you don't have to be a
सा
developer
होगा
to
जी?
leverage these AI features. AI
P
Builder
होगा.
actually allows the data consumer,
हाँ
or
जी.
should say the business
P
user,
होगा.
to be able to
तो
leverage
जी
and
हाँ
use AI
P होगा.
capabilities on your own.
क्यों?
You don't have to have a
क्योंकि 1
developer
से
to leverage
13
those
तक
AI
ही तो
features.
बदली हुआ
And then
है.
finally, the last
उसके बाद
mention
तो
at the bottom
14
right,
15
to
16
myself off camera,
हाँ.
is Dataverse. And
इसीलिए तो कभी
Dataverse
ई फंसाता है
is
कभी
this
हम फंसाते हैं.
database that goes across the entire Power Platform. You're going to predominantly see it used in
Okay.
Power Apps and Power Automate, but it's
तो
also available, and you'll see it on my
समझ
screen
में
when
आया?
we get into the Power BI
चलिए.
desktop. It's
हाँ
also
दिक्कत कब
available
होता जब यहाँ से
inside
पूछ
of Power
देता
BI as a data
कि
connector. So you can
बायां
connect into
से
a Dataverse database that you've created and build
12वां कौन
solutions
होगा?
and reports on top of your Dataverse database. So kind of think of the Dataverse database here, or the Dataverse solution, as the data store that crosses the entire Power Platform. Whether you're using any four of these tools, you can have data that's stored within Dataverse. Dataverse is really designed to easily interconnect into every element within the Power Platform. Now, we're not going to focus a lot on the majority of what we see on the screen here. Our real focus for today is, of course, Power BI.
एक बढ़ा के ना जी 26 था तो 27 था, यहाँ 13 लीटर का कॉन्फ़िगरेशन बैठा रहे तो 14 होगा ना, तो 12 बाएं से अब 13 लीटर में 14 होना चाहिए, मतलब 2 जोड़ेंगे, मतलब 1 2, अब आप लिख के उतना काउंट करने लगे तो होगी, है समझ में? क्लियर?
And those different steps that you have within inside of any Power BI project are going to start with this data discovery phase. And the data discovery phase is all about connecting into the various data sources that you have, which oftentimes may be more than one. You might have more than one data source you need to be able to answer any one question within inside of your ecosystem. But also as part of that data discovery phase, you also have the opportunity to do data cleansing. So the idea of data cleansing is not only am I going to connect to my data, but I likely have some issues with that data that I need to appropriately clean up and fix before I
यदि वर्णमाला को विपरीत क्रम में लिखकर, मतलब लेफ्ट से लिखते थे ना बाबू, उसको राइट से लिखेंगे, इधर से ए इधर होगा, जेड इधर होगा, और बोला जा रहा है कि प्रत्येक दूसरे अक्षरों को हटाया गया है, तो बच्चे से इस अक्षरों में मध्य का अक्षर कौन होगा? तो जाहिर सी बात है, बिना हटाए, बिना मूव किए भी तो प्रत्येक दूसरा अक्षर काट सकते हैं, प्रत्येक दूसरा अक्षर काट सकते हैं, बात तो ही पड़ जाएगा ना जी।
And then appropriately clean any kind of poorly formed data as it comes in. The second phase of any Power BI project is more of this data modeling and data mashup phase. And this phase is all about creating relationships between the various data sources you have. Because likely, there's many cases when you have a question about your data, you might need to connect into more than one data source to be able to truly get the answer to that question. Think about it. If you wanted to know what is profit for my organization, if you're trying to determine profit, you likely need to connect into 4 or 5 different data sources to really get all of your expenses, all of your revenue, payroll information, inventory, all the stuff that you need to wrap in together to determine what profit is for your organization. You're likely touching multiple data sources to really get that answer. In some cases, that might lean into more of an enterprise solution like a data warehouse. But the data modeling within inside Power BI does allow you as a business user to connect into those various data sources that you have and then create relationships between them. So if I need to go pull in some payroll information from, let's say, Oracle, and I have some sales data in SQL Server, and I have some mainframe data and Excel spreadsheets and Access databases and all of these different data sources, you can interconnect them together using the data modeling and data mashup capabilities within inside Power BI. The other part that goes into your data model that you create is where you'll also define and create calculations using a formula language known as DAX. DAX is the Data Analysis Expression Language. We're going to very briefly touch on that today. Obviously, in a 3-hour time frame, we're not going to be able to get super into that, but I would encourage you to check out some of our additional training. We have 2 separate full classes just on DAX through our on-demand learning portal. But there's a lot that you can learn when it comes into the data modeling components. DAX is a big part of that, and we're going to get you a little bit of a peek at what that looks like today. Now, the part that most people think of when they think of Power BI is data visualizations, right? You generally think of whenever you're creating a BI solution, you think of data visualizations, building out visuals.
यदि वर्णमाला के वर्णों को उल्टे क्रम में लिखा जाए, मतलब फुल्ली, तो बाएं से, इसका मतलब उल्टे क्रम लिखा जाए, मतलब राइट से, यहाँ बाएं से बोल रहा है, मतलब उल्टा करना होगा, तो बाएं से 12वां अक्षर के दाएं का 7वां अक्षर कौन होगा? तो 12 7 19 का क्या होगा जी? सनी लियोन, उल्टा करना है कि नहीं? इसका उल्टा हाई स्कूल, एल कैसे हो जाएगा? लव हाई स्कूल, visualization aspect, you're building out visuals, reports, you're filtering your data, you can create things like storytelling through Power BI, you can build out things like personalized bookmarks. There's all sorts of things that go into the data visualization side of things. But the main point here is that while data visualizations is the big aspect of Power BI that everyone, as far as end users, sees as an end result,
It really is kind of the downward part. I should
चलो
say,
टाइम
it
ओवर
almost sounds negative, but it's not
ये थी
negative. It's the last part of the BI project that you do.
कैसे टाइम
You
थी
have to first make sure your data model and your data
बताइए आंसर
discovery
बताइए
and data cleansing pieces are done properly before you can have
तो
a
कितना
well
टाइम
done
चाहिए
set
हमको
of
समझ में नहीं
reports.
आता
So that's a key part here to realize that
टाइम
it's a very powerful part of Power BI, but it's not the only part that goes into any kind of BI solution. Now, once you've done these first 3 steps, these are primarily going to be done through the Power BI desktop. Now, some of these can be done from your web browser through the Power BI service, but these are primarily going to be done through the Power BI desktop application that we are going to start to talk about.
वर्णों को उल्टे क्रम में
These first 3 steps
है ना
can be
जी
done for free
मतलब क्या हो जाएगा
inside
राइट
the Power BI
इसलिए
desktop.
आर
The
लिख
Power
देंगे
BI
हमेशा
desktop
हिंट्स
is
में
free.
आप
There's
लोग
no
रख लेंगे
licensing cost to
ठीक है
Power
क्योंकि
BI
एग्जाम में
desktop.
उतना रिस्क नहीं
You
लेना
may
है
be prompted to
ठीक
sign
है
into a Power BI
तो
account, but you
के
can kind of
के
get past that.
दाईं ओर
And you can
उल्टे
do
क्रम
whatever
लिख
you
दिए
want with inside the Power
तो
BI
के का
desktop at
दाईं
no charge.
इसका
Where
मतलब उल्टा वाला
licensing
तो
comes
के
into
का
play
बाईं
for
हो
Power
जाएगा
BI, and we're not going to get super deep into
ऐसे लीजिए
licensing today.
तो
But
के
where
का बाईं कौन
licensing
होता है
does come into play with Power BI is when you go to share
जे
your solutions with others. So when you go to share your
के का बाईं
solutions
जे
with
ना होगा जी
others, that's when you need to have a Power BI
लेकिन यहाँ पर
license.
के
And
दाईं और आठवां अक्षर
also,
कौन
the people that are
हाँ
receiving your solution need to have a Power BI license as well. Now, there's multiple levels of licensing that you can do.
ठीक
There
है
is a Power BI
तो
Pro
के का
license, which
आठवां
is
अक्षर
list
दाईं
price on Power BI's
तो
website
अगर
is $10
तो इधर
per
मतलब
month per
के का
user.
बाएं आठवां हुआ
But there's also
के
another
का वैल्यू
licensing
कितना
model
होता
known
है
as Power BI Premium,
केपी
which you
ठाकुर
can license either
जे
per
के
user now. That's
मतलब
actually a new
EJT
licensing
10
model.
11
It used to only be
तो
kind of a
11 से
bulk
पहले
licensing.
आएंगे
But they have a
आठवां
per user
तो
license
कितना
for Power
जाएगा
BI Premium, as well as
तो अब
the
11 है
ability to
तो
license hundreds
इसका
of
मतलब
users
हाँ यार
through
वही
premium capacity.
11 मतलब
Now,
कितना
we're not
होना
going to get
चाहिए
super deep into that.
12
I would definitely
तो
recommend
12 तो 8 बोला तो
researching
3
more and learning more
मतलब
about
इधर से 3
licensing with
होगा
Power BI.
तो
But the
A
key thing I want to
B
let you know
C
for
3
now is that when you want to share with others,
देख
you
लो
need a
यहाँ ना
license. They need a
1
license.
2
So that's
3 4
one
5
misconception
6
that oftentimes
7
happens with
8
Power BI is people
C
think you
है
can share with
D
others for free.
E F
But
G
they're going to need a license as
H
well, even when you
I
do things like
J
embed it
K
in SharePoint
मिला
or if you embed it in
तो
Teams,
वो आपको दिमाग लगाना
which you
पड़ेगा
can do. You can
ठीक है
embed your solutions
चल
in SharePoint
क्लियर
and Teams, and you do need a license
चल नेक्स्ट
in those scenarios
3
as
क्वेश्चन
well.
और है
This is really all I have for slides. I just wanted to kind of get you an idea at a high level of what are some of the things that you need to be thinking about as you go into a Power BI project. And what we're going to do next is we're going to jump right into it. I'm not going to delay kind of jumping into it because we have, of course, only 3 hours together. So I really want to jump you into immediately seeing what this tool is like in case you are new to it. And again, as we go along and as we work together, you're going to have the opportunity to pick up on some new, hopefully a small little advanced features for those of you that have been working with Power BI for some time.
यदि
So
रिप्रेजेंटेशन शब्द के सभी अक्षरों को फिर से बाएं से दाएं वर्णमाला में सभी अक्षरों को फिर से बाएं से दाएं वर्णमाला में रखा जाए तो कौन सा अक्षर बाईं छोर से 5वें स्थान पर होगा फिर से
ready to go and installed on your machine. It's a pretty small
यदि
install,
शब्द
so if
के
you're
सभी
using it
अक्षरों को
installing it
फिर
right
से
now, it'll
बाएं
only take
से
a few
दाएं
moments. But what we're going to
ऐसा
do
रहता है
is
कि
we're
उल्टे
going to set
क्रम
the
में लिखा
scenario
जाए
here for you for a few
अच्छा
moments. Let me put
1
myself
2
back on camera
3
here for a moment.
4 5
So here's the scenario. You
ये
know,
नहीं है इधर
anytime
से
you
1
start
2
a Power
3
BI
4 5
project,
ये भी नहीं
and let's say, for example, your company is interested in adopting Power BI, the best way to do that is
गड़बड़ा
to
दी
think
ना
through a good
गड़बड़ा
use
दी
case
गड़बड़ा
within your organization. And so I'm going to give you a
चलो
use
देखते
case, and we're going to follow this use case throughout today.
अक्षरों
And
को
this is where, for
वर्णमाला
those
के
of you that have
क्रम में
attended any
रखने
of our
से
classes before, you've likely seen this use case before. But the use case that we have that we're going to follow for today, and the reason why I like this one is because we can pull in data from the web and everybody can follow along. But we're going to be following along through a use case that we work for a
जितना भी इसमें
bank.
अल्फाबेट
Okay, so
है
imagine you work for a banking institute.
उसको छाट
And
देना है
we are interested
क्रम से
in
रखा
launching
जाए
and creating and
तो जैसे
building our next set of brick and mortar banking centers. You know,
E,
physical locations, right? You don't
I,
have a whole lot of new
O.
banks that open up
तो पहले तो ए
around
आएगा
the world anymore. A lot of
ए
things
के
are
बाद
done
ई आता है
through the
तो ये
internet now.
दोनों डबल
Online
ई लिख
banking
दिए
obviously is
और
has
कट
higher
करते भी जा
prevalence now
रहे
than
हैं
ever.
और ट्रिपल ई है तो कोई बात नहीं, इसलिए कट कर दिए।
some budget
और तो
in
ई के
our
बाद आई
company
आता
to
है,
be able to create
तो
a
जे के
new,
एम
and
आता
build
है,
a set of new physical
तो
brick and mortar
अब
banks
लाचिए
in the
अक्षर बाई
United
उससे
States.
पांचवा, तो 1 2
And
3
so
4
what I'd
5।
like to do is I want to pull in all sorts of data. We have all kind of data internally to help us make this decision. We have data that tells us where most of our customers are. We have data that tells us our most frequent customers.
चलो नेक्स्ट
But what
स्टार्ट।
we'd like to do is see if there's any
ऐसे
supplemental
नहीं,
data that's outside of what we have within our organization
तो बोल हम
that can
किसको किए
also
हैं,
be at least
आई
an
को कि यू को?
influencer into our decision on which one of the banks or which one of the locations around the country that we want to open up our next physical location. And so what we're going to do, and I would like you to follow along through portions of this, is we're going to have you open up your web browser on your screen. So you likely already have YouTube open. Open up another tab, and we're going to open and go to a URL, and I'm going to pull this up on my
यदि
screen here as well.
सेंट्रीफ्यूगल के अक्षरों को अंग्रेजी वर्णमाला के अनुसार बाएं से दाएं व्यवस्थित किया जाए, तो कौन सा अक्षर दाएं से सातवें अक्षर
I'll
से,
leave that up here for just a few moments.
कौन सा अक्षर दाएं से
And if we go to
सातवें अक्षर
data.gov
के
in your web
दाएं
browser,
का
we'll be able to
तीसरा
connect
होगा,
into a public
तो
data
4
set
मतलब
that has
दाएं से
a
4।
list of all of the failed banks within the United States over the last 20 years. So this is going to be an influencing or an influencer
चलो जी,
to our
थोड़ा दिमाग
decision
मत
on maybe
लगा,
perhaps
बाद में
where we
प्रैक्टिस
choose not
कर
to
लेंगे।
open a bank.
तो
Because
वर्णमाला
if
है
we
ना
see
जी,
an area of the country that has a
तो
lot of failed
एक,
banks, then maybe there's something going on, or maybe there's some kind of trend in that area
3
that we might want to avoid. Again, not
4
the overarching reason why
नहीं
we
तो
would
यहाँ
choose to
सातवां
open a bank in one
बड़ा
place or
लेवल
another,
में
but
होगा।
it's going to be an influencer.
हाँ,
All right, I'm stalling a little bit to give you time to go into your web
ठीक है।
browser and go to
देखो
data.gov.
अक्षरों
I'm
को
going to go ahead
अंग्रेजी
and hit
वर्णमाला के
enter
अनुसार
now.
बाएं से दाएं व्यवस्थित किया
And
जाए।
what's great about this website is they have tons of different data sets you can choose from. You can see there's 280 different data set, 280,000 different data sets you can
ठीक है,
choose from here.
तो
And
यहाँ
what
पर
we
क्या
want to do is in our
अंग्रेजी
scenario here,
वर्णमाला
we're
के
going to
अनुसार
search
बाएं
for
से
a data
दाएं
set
व्यवस्थित
called
किया जाए, तो कौन सा अक्षर दाएं
FDIC
से
failed
सातवें अक्षर का
Okay, so go ahead and search for
दाएं
that data
तीसरा,
set in
ठीक
the
है।
data.gov
तो यहाँ पर सेट कर दिए
website.
कौन पहले
And
आता
again, I'm
है,
going to try and
डिक्शनरी के
pause every
अनुसार
few
सजा
moments here
दिए,
to make sure you're able to keep
सजा
up.
दिया।
But
अब
again, as a
दाएं से
reminder,
सातवां, तो 1
with
2
inside
3
YouTube, you
4
can
5
always
6 7,
rewind me and go back
अब
and see
से
something if you
दाएं
missed it. I'm
अक्षर
going to probably
तीसरा,
remind you that
तो
several
फिर यहीं
times
से
today.
तीसरा जाएंगे, तो 1 2
All right, so I'll hit
3,
enter on this.
ऐसा
And
नहीं
that's
है।
going to return back 20 data sets
चलो,
that have something
next
to
last
do with
question।
FDIC failed banks. And the one that we want for our scenario is this very top one, this one
देखो
called
समझ लो,
FDIC
यदि
failed bank list.
इम्पोर्टेंट
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select that top listing right here.
शब्द के अक्षरों के
That'll take us
क्रम को
into
इसमें
the
पका
website
मतलब
where we
बदला
can
जाए
see
कि
the data
पहला
connection or the file that
और
we want to
नौवा
use.
2
Okay.
3
I
4
should note here,
5
by the way,
6
and I'm sure
7
Matt's put
8
this in the
9
chat, there's about a
9
30 to 30
पहला
40
और
second delay within my
9
stream. So
अक्षर परस्पर स्थान
if
बदल,
Matt kind of runs in and said, hey, there's a question about this or something like that, there may be a little bit of a
ठीक है।
delay in me answering some things
इसका
like
तो
that.
टी इधर आ
There
गया,
are
इधर
also
आई आ
should
गई।
note that if we're about to have
दूसरा और आठवां
several
अक्षर,
hundred people that are going to this
दूसरा
website,
मतलब
you know,
इधर
you
एन
probably
आ गया,
expect a
इधर
little
एम
bit
आ
of a
गया।
delay as we're all going to the exact
तीसरा
same
और
website at
सातवां
the exact
अक्षर,
same time. So
मतलब यहाँ
plan
ए
for
आ
that,
गया, यहाँ
expect
पी आ
things
गया।
like that to occur.
इसी तरह से बदल
Now,
ले,
what I want to do
इसका मतलब यहाँ पर क्या आ
is
जाएगा,
on this
टी
website is
यहाँ हो जाएगा,
I would
ओ आ
like to
जाएगा,
take
तो
this
तो बदलेगा
CSV
नहीं,
file, this
बदल ले। इस
banklist.csv,
प्रकार
and
आगे
I
भी
would like to use it
तो
as
एक ही
a data source.
दाहिनी
Now,
क्या बोला जा रहा है,
one of the really neat things about how Power BI
है ना,
works is you can actually connect into this data source from the web. And so rather
तो
than
बोला
me
कि
having to
एक की
download this
दाहिने,
data, so don't actually
एक
click
का
the download
दाहिने
link here, but if I were to
टी
click
होगा,
the download link,
है ना,
I could download this,
और
save it
चौथा
somewhere
अक्षर
locally,
कौन
and
सा
then
होगा,
connect to the local CSV file I have. But what would be even better is if I could just point to the URL
हाँ
from
तो आर
where
नहीं
that
लिखे,
file is stored, and then use the URL as my data source. So that way, as the government updates that file, all I have to do is
इनसे क्या
refresh
होगा,
my Power BI
P,
solution, and then the
इम्पोर्टेड के
latest
अक्षरों
version
को
of that data
क्रमानुसार
will come
बदलने के
in. So
लिए,
it gives me the ability to kind of have almost like
ठीक है,
a closer to
हो जाएगा
real-time
आपका।
view of my
चलिए
data. So
नेक्स्ट
it's
क्लास
skipping
मिलते हैं
that
ब्रेक
step
के
of
बाद,
having to
ओके, थैंक
download
यू।
this and then storing it. I still will have to kind of work on some kind of